Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak about a battle that every single one of us fights. Not in the streets, not in the classrooms, not on the sports fields, but within ourselves. It's the fight against something silent, invisible, and incredibly powerful. It doesn't wear armor, it doesn't shout, and it never storms the gates, but it creeps in quietly, softly, until it steals away days, weeks, even years. This enemy is called laziness, not the kind where you rest after working hard, but the deep-rooted inner laziness that holds you back from becoming who you were meant to be. Beating the inner lazy isn't about perfection. It's not about becoming a machine that works non-stop, without pause or passion. It's about mastering the art of self-control, of silencing that small voice that whispers, "Do it later," when you know it must be done now. It's about rising above the comfort zone that keeps you stuck. That zone where everything feels safe, familiar, and easy, but also where your dreams slowly die. We all have that voice inside us. That voice that says, 5 more minutes of sleep, even when we promised ourselves we'd start a new habit today. The voice that convinces us we're too tired to read, too busy to exercise, too overwhelmed to take the next step. That inner voice is not our enemy by nature. It's just a part of us that fears effort, fears pain, and fears change. But if we don't confront it, that fear starts to rule our lives. Think about the time you had a plan. To study, to work out, to finish that project, to write that idea down. But then, somehow, the day slipped away. You told yourself you'd do it later, and later became tomorrow. Then tomorrow became next week. Eventually, you forgot what you even intended to do. That is how laziness wins. Not with force, but with delay. The truth is, discipline is the opposite of laziness. And discipline doesn't arrive with motivation. It arrives with decision. Motivation is great, but it's fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you'll wake up inspired, and some days you'll wake up drained. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline simply asks, what must be done? Then it gets to work. Beating the inner lazy is about embracing discipline even when you don't feel like it. Even when it's cold. Even when you're tired. Even when your friends are relaxing, your phone is buzzing, and your body wants to sink back into the couch. It's about choosing growth over comfort, progress over procrastination. No one becomes great overnight. No dream comes true just because it's beautiful. The people who build something meaningful, whether it's a skill, a business, a career, a body, or a legacy, do so by showing up when it's hard. They wake up when the alarm goes off. They write when the page is empty. They work out when they don't feel like sweating. They choose to act even when every excuse is calling their name. Now let me be clear. Being tired is not a crime. Taking breaks is not wrong. But laziness is different. Laziness is the repeated habit of escaping effort. It's the decision to stay still when you know you should move. And the longer you stay in that state, the harder it becomes to leave. Like a warm bath, it feels good at first, but stay too long and it drains the life out of you. Beating the inner lazy starts with small victories. Waking up when the alarm rings instead of hitting snooze. Choosing to finish your work before scrolling through social media. Drinking water instead of reaching for soda. Reading one page when you don't feel like reading at all. These moments seem tiny, almost irrelevant, but stacked together over time, they become the foundation of greatness. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in a day. You just have to win one moment, then another, and another. That's how champions are made, not in giant leaps, but in small, consistent steps taken every single day, even when no one is watching. We live in a world that praises comfort, speed, and instant gratification. A world where you can press a button and get food, entertainment, and attention. But true fulfillment doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from what's earned, from pushing through resistance, from doing what's necessary even when it's uncomfortable. Inner laziness often disguises itself as kindness. It says, "You've had a long day, you deserve a break." It tells you, "You've worked hard, you can rest now." And sometimes it's right. But more often, it's a trick. It plays with your emotions and whispers sweet nothings that slowly destroy your potential. You start believing you're incapable of change. You start thinking you'll never be disciplined, that you're just not that type of person. But that's a lie. Discipline is not in your DNA. It's in your decisions. Every person you admire, every person who seems focused, powerful, successful, they weren't born with more willpower than you. They just chose to train that muscle, to silence the lazy voice, and to build